Scrappers, it's Tom from the iScrap app, and wherever you're watching us this week, we welcome you to our weekly report, where you can learn about scrap metal prices, news, ask us questions about materials, or ask our advice on the markets. If you're looking to ask those questions, ask us whether it's live or after, and we'll always get you those answers. Come on in, let's go talk scrap.
Hey Scrappers, Tom from the iScrap app, and today is Wednesday, January 26th, 2022. We hope that you're doing well. We hope that you've been posting your prices. I mean, prices have been really strong. There's no reason that you shouldn't be pricing them, but posting them. For some reason you haven't. Don't forget, the iScrap app is free to download for your iPhones, for your Droid. You can check out news articles, prices, 30-day rolling averages with more features that are constantly being added and being built. So if you have ideas for things you'd like to see, by all means, let us know. Now this week, we're going to go over a lot of different things. We're going to recommend things that you should sell, that you might be able to hold. We're going to start off by talking about some questions, but don't forget, at any time when you're watching these videos, ask your questions on there so we can get to them. But we're going to start with some questions from the last week, and we'll try to go from there.
We had a question about, or more of a statement, aluminum transformers are hardly worth it and copper is better.
Yeah, so aluminum transformers, this was a comment and kind of a question on a video that we had made about taking and cutting transformers apart. Now, aluminum transformers, of course, they do not have the value that copper ones do, but one thing to keep in mind is saving them for a rainy day. There's always going to be a day when you catch up on work, at Rockaway Recycling, when we have, snow days or slow periods. We always have work that is a low yield, low value, but if you take it apart, you can offset some trucking costs, some labor costs. You want to save things like this to be able to take them apart. So any aluminum transformers that you have, don't just sell them like they are. If you have the space to hold them, hold on to them. Next question.
Next question is, should I strip a power cord?
Yeah, so power cords are a very interesting item, and my initial and almost always my reaction is no. We will make a video on showing you the recovery and the time that it takes. But one thing to keep in mind with power cords is they're generally going to have a very low yield of copper. So by the time you strip them, you might only end up getting about 30% of the weight coming out as copper, sometimes less. When that happens, it takes your time, and a lot of the copper that's inside of power cords isn't a solid strand. It's multiple smaller pieces of copper kind of woven together. And when you go to strip these units, the smaller pieces of copper are they get easily cut, and they could create a mess. And I've had pieces before where it pops through the glove and it pokes me in the finger. You don't want that to happen.
We have another statement. The stock market is in a terrible shape, worse than 2008. Commodities may dive like in 2008.
Yeah, so this was an interesting comment, and we'll after this we'll go into some other things. Back in 2008, you had a financial crisis that really catapulted the markets into a downward slump. This week we saw the stock market on Monday dropping 1,100 points, only to recover down less than 100. Tuesday we saw a decrease of 800. Today we see the stock market up 300-400 points. I disagree. I don't think that we're seeing a repeating pattern from 2008. That was caused by a financial problem with mortgage rates and other people like Lehman having major issues that really dominoed across the entire world marketplace. Now, commodities are strong. The prices have gone up. The amount of dollars and euros that have been printed has increased. So we don't see copper or steel prices dipping down to the levels that we saw in the past. We see a very strong commodities market moving forward, and hopefully we'll continue doing that for the rest of the year, but we don't see a bit of a bust coming right now. Now let's talk about some markets. Let's talk about what they've done over the last week and a half. I mentioned in the report this week, copper prices have moved almost $1 per pound over the last 2 weeks, and let me explain. I don't mean they went up or down $1, but if you combine all of the different market moving events that we've had over about a 7 to 10 business trading day period of time, there's been a lot of movements. So example, today the market is up 7 cents. Yesterday the market was up 4 cents. On Monday the market was down 11 cents. So if you add those different movements together, that's almost a quarter, 25 cents just in market movements in 3 days. What we do not want to see is big market moving events. We don't want to see big market changes. We like stable. Stability gives the scrap yards the ability to sell material, confidently know that they're not going to have the markets changing crazy. So we're hoping to see a stabilization, which we really have over the last 3 months. Copper prices have remained in trading levels over $4 per pound for about a 13-month period right now. That shows stability. We're not going from $4 down to $3, back to $3.75 to $4.50. We might be going from $4.60 down to $4.10, but that's a 50-cent range that we can deal with because they generally aren't going to happen in big chunks. So when it comes to buying, selling, holding, we think that copper continues to be a sell item, and that goes across the board. Copper wire, brass, dirty copper pipe, bare bright copper, tin coated material. I had a question on another YouTube video talking about tin coating and saying, hey, what happens if I melt it down? Will I get like a cleaner price or a mixed price? No, there's certain items like tin bus bar and tin coated wire that are not worth cleaning. Have I seen people clean bus bar before? Yeah. Do I think they're crazy? Yeah, but who's to say that I'm not crazy for not doing it, right? That's a matter of opinion. So when it comes to materials right now, sell your coppers, sell your brasses, unless you have a lot of processing to do. Use the iScrap app as a tool for reference points to see what prices other people are getting, posting prices that you're having, and by learning about what people are selling things for, it just gives you a better idea of where the markets are. Other items that we suggest selling right now, catalytic converters. This market has been super strong. We were talking to a couple of Patreon supporters recently, and they were asking about different catalytic converter prices, where the market comes from. The PGM, the precious group of metals, the platinums, the palladiums, the rhodiums, right? Those markets are up right now. We saw palladium jumping again today. So we see the team at rrcats.com quoting people with really high average cat prices in the 150 to 160 range on average across the board, non-aftermarket. But that price was down to 135 about a month ago. So that shows a really positive market moving event that we're really excited to see. Now, overall, if you're looking to learn more about scrap, by becoming a Patreon supporter, it gives you the ability to get additional tips and ideas. And this month we have another tool giveaway. We have a couple of awesome tools here. We have made by DeWalt. We have our compact series, and it even includes your battery and your battery charger in a case. Not many of these do. Sometimes you go to Home Depot, you just get the machine itself. And on top of that, we have a really nice set of tips and bits that are going to be given away. So if you look off to my left here, you're going to see some names that are Patreon supporters. We're going to do a random spinning of the wheel. Whatever it ends up landing on is going to be the winner. We're going to send these out to the winner and thank them not only for being a Patreon supporter, but for actively asking scrap questions that let them make more money and also let us learn how to make more money to people. So it looks like we have a winner, and the winner this week is going to be
Tim D.
Tim D, you are the winner. We'll reach out to you, and we're really looking forward to sending these to you via UPS in the next couple of days once we get your contact information. Thank you for being a Patreon supporter and for asking scrap questions and learning more about scrap. Hopefully these tools will help you continue to make more money. Now, other things to keep in mind this week, oil is going crazy, $85 per barrel right now, and we expect that to quickly escalate to over $100. What's that going to mean? Well, yeah, we're going to continue to pay more money for gas and diesel, but we also might see a bit of a stalemate on the steel market for the next couple of months. Now, when you look at the oil prices and people try to correlate them along with scrap steel prices, they never run perpendicular, parallel. Sometimes they're a little jagged, they go up, they go down. But what we do expect to see is higher trucking costs offsetting any type of scrap increase for the rest of the winter. We don't expect to see much, if any, market movement on iron and steel scrap throughout the month of January, February, and even throughout March. So we're looking at these markets, but we still think that holding things like your rotors or your heavy unprepareds are worth holding for the next couple of months if you have the ability. And we continue to say that regardless of the price level, sell your light iron, your sheet iron, your shred, your cars. Of course, you sold the cat to RR Cats, but by selling those things as they're in your trucks, on your trailers, in your dump trailers, sell those as you go, because you're going to spend more time unloading, reloading to make a few more bucks than you would having a quick flip. Now, one thing that I want to tell you is a quick scrap joke. What do you call a scrapper without a magnet? Well, he's not a scrapper. He or she's not a scrapper. So it's not really an answer, because you can't be a scrapper without it. So if you're looking to become a scrapper or learn more about scrap, having a magnet on you at all times is essential. And it's one of the things that we want to talk about. When you're taking things apart, there are magnets that come out of speakers and other types of units. Even hard drives have magnets to them. We have customers at Rockaway Recycling, and we have scrappers throughout the iScrap world that tell us that wherever they go, they save as many magnets as they can, because they're always able to use them to test their metal real quick. And that's one of the easiest scrap 101 tools to be able to know and learn and always have with you, magnets at all times. So these are just things to keep in mind. Now, what else is going on with the markets? Well, we're seeing a bit of a fluctuating pattern right now. There's world events, there's oil prices, there continues to be COVID issues, supply chain, yada, yada, yada. All the stuff that you don't want to hear about, we're going to try not to really push too hard. But what we do recommend doing, selling your catalytic converters. Prices are at a really strong level. Steel prices, we recommend holding your heavier grades, your rotors. We recommend selling anything to do with copper or brass, insulated copper wire, really good items to get rid of. What we want to see, post prices. All right, continue to post the prices that you get. This way we get more feedback from you, and we can learn how to predict the market in a better way and give you news alerts to know where the markets are going. Scrappers, this is Tom from the iScrap app. Today is Wednesday, January 26th. We thank you for tuning in and for your time. If you have any questions, comment below, and until next week, I'll scrap you later.
Thanks for checking out our scrap videos. By becoming a Patreon supporter today, you'll be entered into monthly giveaways for tools and other products to help you make more money with your scrap.